Hi there and welcome to this free video drum lesson. Today we're going to be looking at paradiddles. Now you might ask, what is a paradiddle? Well, a paradiddle is an example of a rudiment being the very basic building blocks of how we play the drums. So the first one you're likely to come across would be the single stroke roll. That's just playing one note with each hand each time. Another example would be the double stroke roll, which is where we play two notes with each hand. That's how we build up to a drum roll. Now a paradiddle is a mixture of those two. So we start with a single, right left, and then right right, our double. So single double, single double. So that's right left right right, and then left right left left. Right left right right left right left left. So we can get some interesting patterns on the snare with that. But the most useful time to use paradiddles is when you're not just on the snare but also using the toms or even the hi-hat. And that's because it can help stop our arms from getting in the way of each other. I'll give you an example. The fill that we might use for this, if we have one on the high tom, one on the snare, two on the mid tom, one on the snare, one on the floor tom, and two on the snare. So that's high tom, snare, mid tom, snare, floor tom, snare, snare. If I do that as singles, my arms get in the way of each other. And it gets a bit messy because they're having to cross over several times. But if I was to do it as paradiddles, everything gets much easier. So I'm going to do that by having my right hand go across the toms and my left hand stays nicely on the snare. And that will go right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, left. And it can sound really great if you start getting that fill to sit really well there. Another example of a fill we can do with a paradiddle is where the left hand stays on the snare again. My right hand will start on the floor tom and then come across to the snare for its double. So that will be. And then the left hand will play, and my right hand can play either of the two higher toms, and then the left hand will play its double. So that will be. So that can be a really useful fill as well. Let's see how we can start to use paradiddles in a groove setting. This is where, instead of using the toms, we're going to come across to the hi-hat. So my right hand will play the hi-hat, my left hand will stay on the snare as it has been. So let's just do a paradiddle between those two, starting with the right hand. That sounds very nice, but it doesn't quite sound like a groove we're used to yet. So let's bring the bass drum in. We're going to put that on the first note of each pair of paradiddles. So that's with the right hand. In order to make that sound just a little bit more like a rhythm we're used to, we want to get the snare drum that's on beat 2 and on beat 4 to stand out a little bit more. So what we're going to do, the left hand that starts its paradiddle, so that's the left of left, right, left, left, is going to be a bit louder. So that's going to go. Right, left, right, can make that a little bit more interesting by adding in more bass drums. Easiest place to do that is to do it with the right hand. So we can put it with any right hands in that rhythm. So I hope you enjoyed that. All the best with practicing the paradiddles. I'll see you next time.